Hi everyone. We will be beginning shortly. Let's start exactly at 8:05. We are just waiting for a few more people to join. So until then, I don't want to be idle. So I thought like I can, have a conversation with, everybody. So I just want to know about all of you a bit. I just want to know like where are you at right now? Like how many of you are planning to apply for the summer intake? May I know? If you're too shy to talk, you can even put up an emoji or something in the chat box so that I know, and I can talk better and address you better so that I cover the topics that you want me to cover and, make it more relevant. So I want to know how many of you have already applied or just planning to apply. It would be great if you guys could just let me know about it. Okay. Nitin is planning to apply for is it like summer intake? Yeah, I think summer 2022. Um, Great. Okay, so many of you are planning to, oh, winter 2022, is it? That's nice. Karthik is planning to apply for winter. So, I can see that most of you are planning to apply for 2022. We have hit Johnny here. So says our primary plan is to apply for summer, but if it's going to be online classes, I will defer my plan. Okay, I can see that some of you are not liking the online classes and prefer to attend the virtual class. I mean, like attend the in-person classes, so physical classes. Um, yeah. Okay, so many of you are planning to um, okay, I got some rejection, so trying for the summer intake. As nice. So if wherein in that case, we have a reconsideration letter giveaway for this month, and you can actually enter the giveaway. You can enter until the 2nd of July, so you can just find it on our Instagram and just like apply for it. Maybe we can try reconsidering, like sending reconsideration letter to some universities because once you have faced rejections, you can, you're eligible for sending a reconsideration letter. So we can try that out, but it's always better to open more things. That is just like a plan B. You have to still have more options. So yeah, that's nice. I got an admit, but want to inquire about the university. Okay, that's nice, Shekhar. Oh, I'm seeing Shekhar again. Um, that's nice. Okay, so we have a lot of participants here already. So I think we can get started with the session. Okay, I'll just introduce myself before I get started. So I am Ashraf Farhad. I am the education consultant at MSN Germany. So our basic goal of MSN Germany was to, help students and especially our founder himself is a TUM alumnus. His name is Uday Yatnali, and he's here with us today. He will be answering a few questions for you after the session, and you can talk to him and ask him about how was his life in Germany. He studied from TU Munich, and how was his experience, or you can even talk about how the application process works, etc. So in this session, we'll be talking about how to shortlist universities for summer 2022. And not just that, I'm going to be giving you so many tips if you're still at the starting stages. I'm going to give you tips of how to apply. What are the things you should remember before you apply? How to shortlist the universities, and how do you know when is the right time for you to apply for Germany? Apply for your masters in Germany. So without further ado, I think let's get started. Okay, so these are the topics that we'll be covering in today's session. So when is the right time for my master's? I'll be covering that because I personally felt like it's a very important topic because most of the people who are following us on Instagram are in a dilemma if they should go or not. Or when is the right time to start? Some of you might be still doing your bachelor, some of you might be working right now, or some of you are just like considering a new option or something to explore. So let's discuss about that. And secondly, we'll be talking about why Germany, why you should choose Germany. It's something that I'm sure most of you have already chosen, so I won't spend much time in that. And we'll be talking about the types of universities. Most of you might already know that as well, but it's for those. I'll be giving some more tips in that area, and how to shortlist universities. So step-by-step process, how to shortlist universities, and things to remember before you get started with your process. So, and at last, I'll be talking about MS in Germany. How can we help you in making this process easier? And at last, let's have a Q&A session. So let's get started. So first and foremost, how do I know when is the right time for my master's? So this is not just for your master's in Germany, but anywhere that you're planning to do your master's abroad in any country. How do you know when is the right time for you to start your master's? So first, and actually, there's an endless list to answer this question, but first and foremost, that I would like to say is start when you're financially ready. I know that even if you get into Germany in a public university, even if it's zero tuition fee, you will have some expenses like your living expenses, flight expenses that would somehow round up to 10, 15 lakhs for sure. So you will have to spend some amount of money. And when you're financially, you don't have to be financially ready because you can always apply for an education loan, but you should still be comfortable financially as well, because if you have money problems after you're going there, you're not going to enjoy it as much as any normal student. So I would suggest, if you're like lacking in that area, make sure that you're financially ready as well. Secondly, when you have the time for it without any responsibilities on your back. So suppose you have any family responsibilities, or if there's so much going on your head, please don't start this process right now, because you could always have other options, to explore. You could probably gain some work experience here. That would really help you to get admission in Germany, because your chance of getting admission gets higher. So if you should not have any like family responsibilities or something on your head, because that's going to make it really tough, or you will have that pressure. And if you don't want to go through the pressure of taking an education loan, please don't. Just be 100% sure. I know people say that you can easily get an education loan, etc., but it has its own drawbacks, and you should be ready for it, and you should think about all these things before you start. Thirdly, if none of this is on your head and you're just like comfortable in your life and you want to explore, or you're still planning to try this out, then please start it right away. Don't think twice, because many students come across this question as well. As a fresher, can I apply for masters in Germany? Yes, you can. Many of our students are who just completed their bachelor's and are wishing to do their masters straight away. So you could always do that. You don't have to wait until you get a work experience, because most of the universities in Germany do not demand for work experience. So you don't have to worry about that. As long as you have a good CGPA, you have a good profile, you show that interest, you're totally fine to go for your masters. So and don't start unless you are 100% ready, even mentally. You should be completely ready for it, because you should be open to exploring more things. You're going to be facing, it's a whole new country. You're going to be as an international student, but trust me, it's going to be so much fun, and it's going to be memorable for you, not just in the part of education, because that is something that you could take back with you, forever, because it is definitely going to impact your profile. The way you're looked at after you have finished your master's in Germany is totally different. Your job, the possibilities of getting an amazing job increases, and your profile itself looks so much better once you have completed your masters in Germany. So don't think about it. You should like be 100% ready for it before you go. So this is where and at the same time, you should follow your heart. If you really feel like going for it, and if you're financially ready and everything else, then you're good to go. You can just straight away start with your masters. Okay, so let's move on to the next topic. Why Germany? So there are many reasons why you could go to Germany. The most attractive thing would be if there are so many public universities over there. So your chances of studying in a university with no tuition fee is so much higher, because there are up to like 180 public universities in Germany. So there's like low or no tuition fees. It doesn't mean you're going to study for free, but you still that's a huge chunk of expenses that's going to be lesser for you. And only thing you need to worry about is your living expenses, which is really cool because not many countries offer this even for international students. So that is pretty great because I myself I did my bachelor's in Malaysia, and we had to pay much higher than the normal nationals over there. So that is something that if I would have known that Germany had this thing, I would have probably applied earlier here. But yeah, but no regrets. But you should always go for it. Secondly, top ranked universities. You can find it's not just the zero tuition fee universities, they are top ranked, and they are globally recognized. Their study programs. Germany is known for their education because it's not just the quality of education is so much higher. Sometimes it can be difficult for you to pass the exams because the level of education that they have over there could be a little bit tougher, so much tougher than in India. No offense to Indian universities, but it's just that compared to the way exams, they're very particular about anything, and the world is aware of this. German education is known for this. So if you have completed your masters over there, you're capable of doing it anywhere. So keep that in mind, and you should be a little serious when it comes to studies over there. So yeah, and also they are very punctual, guys. So be punctual. Even you have to for every semester you need to apply for the exam that you're planning to apply. Even if you don't attend the classes, it's okay, but you have to register for the exam on time. Or if you fail to do that, you have to wait for another semester. I'm not scaring you away, but yeah, these are some things that. But the perks is you don't have. It's not mandatory for you to have a class attendance, which is cool. um but yeah, because there are so many people who want to do self studies, so you could always do that. And post masters you get a job seekers visa. That is the coolest because you can get once you get your student visa over there. You go there, and once you've completed your masters, you can actually apply for a job seekers visa, which is like a perk of getting a student visa from Germany, because you just like you get to stay there without without any tension. You can search for a job aram say, like you can you can search for it without any tension, and that's very cool. And once you've gotten your job offer, you can convert it into work visa, but you have ample amount of time for that. So you don't have to be pressured after your masters to get the job. I mean, you obviously want to, but you could search it slowly, which is cool. And affordable cost of living compared to India, obviously it's higher, but compared to other countries, it's lower. And there are many cities in Germany that has like very low cost of living, and you can like manage your expenses. The average living expenses per month would be around 850 euros. That is what the government says, but you can actually manage in 500, 600. Even like 500 is like like maximum you could reduce it to. So you can actually like 500 euros is quite affordable. So you can actually consider Germany for all these possible reasons. So I'm sure you might have already come across these things, but I just want to let all the new people know about it. Okay, so first things first, let's get started with university shortlisting and getting your priorities right. So that is very important, guys. When you're shortlisting universities, you should know yourself, and nobody else knows you better than you. So you should know what you really want to do, especially let it come to finalizing the course that you want to do your masters in, finalizing the universities. You should know what you want to do and get your priorities right, and your choices should be valid, realistic, and career focused. This is very important when you're shortlisting universities. It's not just a pretty campus that could help you in getting a job. There's so many things that comes into place when you're shortlisting universities that you should keep in mind. The reasons, you can, there are so many factors that we look into, but you should know your preferences, right? And don't just do it because it's a famous university, or don't actually do that, because that's not going to help you out. You should look into if for example, if you're going for a research based university, you can look into their lab facilities, if it's good enough to perform your experiments, or if you're planning to do PhD later, is it possible to do that, etc. And if you're just focused on job, go for a University of Applied Science. You can finish the master's faster and you can quickly get a job as well. There's so many things you should keep in mind, but I'll get into detail with that. So first, let's talk about the types of universities. So there's public and private. Public are the ones you should aim for because these are the no tuition fee universities. And some universities have tuition fees, but that's only for certain courses, and it's quite low. It won't be more than 1,500 euros or so. So regardless of your nationality, this is applicable for everyone. Secondly, top ranked universities. So public is what students aim for because they don't want, I mean, nobody wants to pay tuition fee, right? That's why you're choosing Germany. But you can always, suppose your scores are really low in your bachelor's and you don't stand a chance at public universities, you can always consider private. And there are some universities which has very, very low tuition fee, like, 3,000 euros or so. So you can try applying in those. That would still be better. I mean, like, if something is better than nothing. So you could always go for a private university. And which is surprisingly that private university numbers are so much lesser than that of public. There are like 300 public universities over there. So you can see the difference. In India, it's like the opposite, because here government funded universities are lesser than, even the seats are lesser than the private ones. So that's pretty cool that you can get in Germany. And but there are some perks of even private universities. So let's say if you want to go for management related courses, finding it in public universities would be a bit difficult, and that too for zero tuition fee is difficult for management courses. And some of the best management universities are there in private. And one more thing is that there are fewer students in the class, so you will be paid more attention, which is also cool. And you don't have to go through the stress of chances of getting admission, because you are almost having like 90% chance of getting admission in a private university if you provide everything right. So that's cool. You don't have to go through all of that. Okay, so moving on to TU versus FH. This is the biggest dilemma what students get into, because everybody wants to go into public, I mean, like, get into this dilemma, because there is research based and FH. They're both equally good, but the dilemma is because this has its own perks that this doesn't offer, and this has certain perks that this doesn't offer. So it also depends on your preferences. So TU, let's go into TU. TU is basically research based universities, and they offer like almost, you can find all the courses over there, and most of the students try to get into TU itself, because these are the technical universities of Germany, and 90% of the coursework is research work. So most, and it's usually comparatively longer than FH. If you see FH universities, which is University of Applied Sciences, they focus more on practice, and job. They make sure that you get a job immediately after you find, because even their approach would be more of internships and practice oriented, which is different because TU is more research oriented. So if you want to finish your masters in like just 3 semesters, you can always go for the University of Applied Sciences, because it is so much faster. You can finish your masters and immediately go on getting a job. And but the only drawback of FH, which is University of Applied Sciences, is that you can't change it to you can't get a PhD, I mean doctorate degree later. They do not award doctorate degrees, which is a drawback. But in TU, you would have almost completed most of the credits in your masters itself, and you just have a few more credits to finish your PhD. So if you're more into that, you could always go for TU. But if you're just doing your masters for the sake of getting a good job, then I would really, really suggest go for University of Applied Sciences, because when it's lesser semesters, then you will have lesser expenses. Then your masters finishes faster and cheaper, and value benefit, I would say go for University of Applied Sciences. But yeah, obviously TU has a lot of value. The master's degree that you get from TU would be like, of highly value. But in the end, getting a job, it all depends on your skills and, how you really want to, take it forward. So it's totally up to you. Whatever is your interest, go for it. And some of the best TU universities are TUM, TU Berlin, there's RWTH Aachen. Here you can find FH Aachen, there's Rheinwald University of Applied Sciences. You can find many, it's unlimited. You could just like choose what's best for you, which location is best for you, you can go through that. Okay, so now that you know that, what are the types of universities, how many universities should you shortlist for you to be, going to the next step. So I would suggest personally, and we have come across many students. Some students struggle with, they shortlist very less, like, 2 to 3 universities. Some choose to do like 15, they just apply to all the universities that they're eligible to just increase their chances. But I would still not think that's a good idea. 5 to 7 is like the apt number of universities that you should shortlist, because there are not too many, and you still have like backup options if a few of them fail, and if a few of them if you receive rejections. And in this, like, you need to again categorize, how many universities you want to shortlist in that itself. Like 5 to 7 means in that at least three of them you should have high chances of getting admission. So three of them could be like really popular public universities, maybe the tier 9 universities, but you should know your chances, right? And apply to those universities where you have high chances of getting admission. 5 to 7 would be a good number. And when you apply for too many universities, you won't be paying so much attention to the application, which means that you are not very let's say you're not paying so much attention, which means there's not your application is not so amazing. When it comes to SOP, you can't submit the same SOP for all the universities. If you want to outstand, if you want to be unique, give so much attention to fewer number of universities and do it right, maybe you might still, win that admission. So try to research more about the universities that you want to shortlist, and these 5 to 7 universities should be like the best universities for you, not the best universities in general, but the best universities for you, which you should keep in mind before you start. And don't apply to the universities that you're not eligible for. Only the ones you're eligible you need to apply. You need to keep all of this in mind. And even these 5 to 7 universities that you wish to apply, right, make sure that these universities are you're totally eligible. Go through the university website and read through everything. Sometimes they might have asked for a technical essay, or some requirement that you would have missed out. If you apply for too many universities, then you might not pay attention to all these minute things. So you should keep this in mind. Thirdly, okay, so if you guys have some questions, right, you can always, just write it down somewhere. This section will like finish wrap. I'll wrap up. I'll try to wrap up in 10 minutes, but after that we'll have like a Q&A session, so you can ask all your questions at that time. So that's great. Okay, so intake and course requirements. So it's a fact that winter intake offers more courses than summer, but I would say, since that could also be a drawback, because all the students are, aiming for the winter intake itself. So fewer students will apply for summer. So your chances of getting admission might be higher. It also depends on the course that you're applying. For certain courses, it has more demand in both the intakes. So you keep that in mind, and don't think that winter is the only option that you've got. Summer equally has good number, and I would say you have more chance of getting admission in summer if for certain courses. So keep this in mind, and keep a track of your documents and check if the university course requirements are met, like credit requirement, work experience. So credit requirement is something where students usually make mistakes. So if you want to get it done, you can always contact us for ECTS conversion, or because that could be a little complicated. Because even the other day I came across a student who has like he only had 160 credits, but that was actually the Indian credits. So if you convert it, and he thought that he might not be eligible for German universities, because usually German universities ask for 210 or 240 credits in your bachelor's, but actually his credits were almost equal to 240 in European format. So, keep all this in mind. Make sure that you do the conversion right. And you have to check if you meet the eligibility criteria, because some universities only ask for 180, while some ask for 210. So if you only have 180, you can't apply for the universities which ask for 210. So I know you're really, you can be ambitious, but not too ambitious. So if you're not meeting the criteria, just drop the plan. Like, just go for the other options that you have in hand. Okay, so the target courses. What to do when you have more than one field of interest? So when you're in a dilemma of which one to choose the one where you have the most interest in. It doesn't always have to be something same as your bachelor's. You could always do something very different from your bachelor's. If you could convince the admission committee that you're worth it, you are the suitable candidate for them. You're the suitable student for the university. So if you can, be able to convince them, then you're good to go. And don't keep too many options open, because even when you're shortlisting universities, when you have more than two choices or more than three choices, you'll end up having a huge list of universities, and you'll be in a dilemma which one to choose from, and you'll probably waste time in going through so many things. So first, you be sure of what you want to study, because that will be already fixed, to be honest. That is just us keeping the options open. You can keep it open for like maybe two to three courses, but not more than that. If you want to go for data science, fix that and just look for universities in that field, because you'll definitely shortlist better if you just focus on one or two things. So keep this in mind and set a smart goal. So, like I said earlier itself, be realistic. Don't apply for the universities where you have low chances. So, if you have, like, let's say if you have just like 60% or 65%, and you're aiming for, TUM, that's I would say that's very unrealistic, and that's not right. Sometimes some students do get admission with just like 68 percentage in public universities. That happens definitely, but not TU9 universities. So you should know your chances. You can actually get to know about your chances with us for free. So you can enroll for a profile evaluation with us, which is like totally free of cost. You just have to submit your bachelor's documents and a certain other requirements, and we let you know what's your chances of studying in a public university in Germany. So you can actually go through that. But yeah, set a smart goal and check the deadlines of the universities and apply on time. And Germans are very punctual, like I said. So apply only to those universities where you have high chances, and also apply way before the deadline. I would suggest you apply at least a month before the deadline. And the best thing is to do apply as soon as the portals open. And for summer intake right now, many universities have already opened their portal. So apply it as soon as possible. Don't waste time in going through documents again and again. Like some students do this mistake. They wait until the deadline to apply, but that's not going to increase your chances of getting admission. Like, I would still say it would reduce it, because your chances are to the maximum when you apply at the time the portals open. Because sometimes if they're really impressed with your with your profile, they might send you an offer letter immediately. So they won't wait until the deadline. The closer you are towards the deadline, your options will also be lesser. Suppose you receive a rejection letter, you would have already crossed the deadlines for most of the universities, so you can't apply for other universities. So I would still say apply as soon as the portals open. That's the best thing you should do. Okay, and research about the university. This you could actually do in many, many ways. Something as simple as a Facebook group. You can enter and ask, the students, or even on LinkedIn, you can actually search for the university name, and you can find the students who are studying there and stuff. Try to have a conversation with them. It's not too bad. You can just find the students, and you can try to have a conversation with them. How is it? You can tell them about that you're going to go there, which is really cool. But some people might find you like weird because you're a stranger. But some people might be actually nice to reply to you and do that. So research a bit about the university. If you have any doubts, just straight away call the like international office of that university, because they would just really answer. Most of them answer the questions. Trying to talk to them in English would be a bit difficult, but yeah, most of the universities, especially in the international office at least, you can find English speaking people, and you can just ask the doubts, before you apply. If you're doubtful about anything, just straight away ask them before you apply. And picture yourself study there, check out the campus. This is something I love to do, because you can go through, you can even search for the university on Instagram and check out their campuses, and check out the comments, the research labs. And even on the website, you can find, website is very limited, but you can always try to find in other platforms about the university, and you can find some cool stuff. You have to picture yourself over there. So yeah. Okay, so the next one, always have a plan B. This is something, I wouldn't say for other cases, but when it comes to applying for German universities, I would say always have a plan B, because not everything might work out as you planned. If you're planning to apply for certain public universities, and let's say, God forbid, you don't get admission, you wouldn't be too sad if you have a plan B. If you already have it sorted, expect a rejection for sure. Like, you don't have to be, you have to be confident, but not overconfident. So I would say as soon as you apply, think of what will happen if you don't get accepted in that university. So you should be already planning, like if you don't get this, you have to apply. Like as soon as you get a rejection, you decide to apply in another university. Or if it's too late, you can send a reconsideration letter. Or if it's still too late, it's never too late. You can always apply for the next intake. Maybe something better is waiting for you out there. And you can plan it better. Maybe this time in the waiting period, always learn some German, or enroll for, maybe get a work experience, something. There's always other options, even if you don't get admission at that time, always have a plan B, so you won't be very disappointed. Because being disappointed at the time of rejection would actually pull you down, because that's not going to do you any good. And if you face a rejection, you can always like come up with anything else. And if you're not so disappointed, it's always you end up doing the best, making the best decisions at that time. So always have a plan B. Okay, so other important factors that you should keep in mind while shortlisting universities would be the location of the place matters, because I would say some places are really, really cold in Germany. And if you can't stay in really, extreme weather conditions, please consider that as a major thing, because you don't want to be sick most of the time when you're there. So, you have to consider this as as a serious factor. Secondly, research facilities. If you are going for a TU university, you don't have to worry about this, because the TU universities over there have really good research facilities. But if you're planning to go for something else, then you have to check out the university campus. Like I said, the labs, everything. Get a review from a student over there. That would be great. And part-time job opportunities. So suppose you're completely reliable on getting a part-time job, because suppose you would have taken a education loan and you want to pay back. And to be honest, if you get a part-time job in Germany, you can totally manage your expenses, because they pay pretty well. Like they pay around 10 to 15 euros per hour. So that's like in a month, you'll earn up to 800 euros. And the other day, I came across a student, Sophia. She was an international student, and she earns more than what she spends. And she says she spends lavishly because she earns that much. So her expenses come around 500 to 600 euros, and she earns up to 900 euros. That's more, and she gets to travel a lot with the excess money that she makes. So and not all places offer you good part-time job opportunities. So choose the ones where you have high chances of getting a part-time job. Like places like Munich, it's even though the cost of living is much higher there, the chances of you getting a part-time job is also more. As an international student, if you speak very little German or no German at all, if you speak only English, then your options obviously becomes lesser. But again, choose, because if it's a very remote place, or if it's not even like a city, or if it's in a very rural place, then finding a part-time job would be very, very difficult, and that could make your life hell. So you should even consider these factors while choosing a university. And everything else, like I said, the professors, how it is over there, what are the importance. Also, one more thing I forgot to mention here is the importance that the university gives to the international students. We should focus on that, because some universities, they don't really give so much attention to the international students. So certain you will face some difficulties. So it's better that you should know the number of international students studying there, and get to know how they reviews from them, because that could really help you out, because you're in a different country. You should consider all these factors. Okay, so that's it for uh, uh, how to shortlist universities. So I hope this was informative for you. And without further delay, I'm sorry I took most of your time, but no, I didn't actually. Okay, great. So I would want to know what your questions like, because I know many of you are planning to apply for summer intake. And I'm guessing that Uday sir is also here in this session. I'm just like checking. Yeah, yes, he's there. Okay, so Uday sir, let me introduce him again to you. So he's the founder of MS in Germany, and he is a TUM alumnus. So you can ask him questions, and like he'll be able to answer you, and I myself, I'll answer it as well. So you guys can actually switch on your mics. Just a second. I have given the access. Yes. So you can start asking the questions.
Hi, I'm a student who passed out a year back and I joined Wipro. So I would like to know now I'm planning to apply. So how do I put forward this particular experience that I have got? And I'm a student of computer science bachelor's.
Okay. Udai sir, are you there? I'm not sure if he's.
Yes, Asha.
Yes, okay.
Sorry, I was just
Okay.
connecting my mic.
Okay,
Um,
sure, sure. Should I ask her
yeah,
to repeat the question?
no, I got the question. It's great that you are from a computer science background and you have work experience in Wipro. I assume that you were working in a department which was related to software development or testing or something like that. All of that will certainly add to your profile when you apply for master's course in the field related to computer science. And how do you leverage that experience? Depends on the university and the course actually. Some universities don't bother considering your work experience at all. Like Stuttgart, for example, if you apply for computer science in Stuttgart, they don't even ask for any other certificate related to your work experience. So they only give you admission based on your academic score. So, but then even if you go to such universities, your work experience still matters because once you go there, you have to still find the part-time jobs and internships and even full-time job after your masters. So, in all those situations, your work experience in India certainly counts. But then, as far as getting getting admission is concerned, for some universities it matters and some universities it doesn't. Most of the TU universities, they don't really, care about your work experience. So it mainly your academics that matters to them. I hope that answers your question.
Um, Twinkle, are you there? Okay, great. So I hope that answered your question, Twinkle. So do we have any other question here?
Hello, myself
Hi,
Nitin
Nitin.
Kumar.
Hi, Nitin. Yes.
I have a query. I have just completed my examinations for bachelor's,
Okay.
and I'm looking for summer semester 2022.
Okay.
Uh, and my query is like due to this COVID situation, I asked some professors. They were telling me that due to the COVID, the degree certificate might be delayed.
Okay.
So what can I do in that case if I didn't received my degree at the time of application process?
Nitin, that won't be a big issue actually. In most cases in India, as far as I know, degree certificate will be available only 1 year after you complete your after you complete your bachelor's. So I think if you just get your transcripts and a provisional degree certificate from your current university, that should do for the applications. But at the time of going to Germany for the for the enrollment, maybe you need to carry your original degree certificate. By that time, if you get it, if you couldn't get it also, you can get the exception by writing to them once. And as soon as you get it in India, you have to produce it to them.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah, fine, Nitin. All the best.
Thank you, Nitin, for the question. Do we have any other question?
Hello. I
Excuse me.
Hi,
actually,
Jennifer. Oh, okay. Let's go to Jennifer first, and then we'll answer your question.
Okay.
Yeah, Jennifer.
okay, yeah, actually, I completed my BTech in 2020, but
Okay.
my final exam took place almost at like some December, and I received all my certificates by only March. So this 2021 will be considered a career gap for me if I apply for summer 2022 intake. Will it affect my admission process?
Okay. Um, a small gap wouldn't hurt, Jennifer, because from December 2020 to until now, it's been 6 months. So I don't think it matters a lot. You could still show your, some preparation for tests and for universities like TUM, they do not expect to see any gaps in your CV at all. So even if it's a 1 month gap, you have to justify it by saying, okay, this is what I have been doing for that 1 month. So they do not even accept your CV when you if you have any gap in your CV. But most of the other universities in Germany, they should be okay with this gap. But in any case, I would suggest you to justify this 6 months gap by taking up a language course or by preparing for IELTS or GRE or something like that. You cannot show this as a gap, but you have to fill it in with something else, some other internship.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yes, someone else was going to ask a question.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Hi, Karthik.
Ma'am, like I'm still studying in sixth semester. So
Okay.
I'm willing for winter intake 22. So is it like sixth semester max is enough for applying, ma'am, or I need to like wait till completion of my bachelor's degree?
You can apply with 7 semester marks, but not 6 semester. That's what I know so far. Sir, what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, the question is, can you get a provisional degree certificate? Because universities will give provisional degree if you are there in 7th semester generally. That is, if you are there in your final year. I don't think in 6th semester you can get a provisional degree certificate. If that is necessary for you to apply, because they want to know that you are going to complete your bachelor studies. So if you can get it, then you can still apply and produce the results of 7th semester once you get it. But at least you have to get results until 6th semester in order to apply, so that you would have completed whatever that 180 credits that is the requirement. But then yeah, it depends. If you can get a provisional degree, then yeah, I think you can still apply while being in while just finishing the 6th semester. But yeah,
Like
if you're there in 6th semester right now, I
to
assume that
have
you would
my
have.
mark sheets till sixth semester. So like from August I'll start my seventh semester.
Okay, from August you are going to start your 7th semester, means right now you are still in your 6th semester, right?
Yes, sir. I'll finish it by this month.
Okay. Yeah, I think you still, for the summer intake, you can apply once you finish your 6th semester and get your results. So
Uh,
that means like you will be in your 7th semester, get the provisional degree, and get your transcript until 6th semester, and then you can apply to the universities.
okay, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you, sir. And is GRE mandatory for every university, sir?
No, Karthik, definitely not. GRE is mandatory for a handful of universities. The top ones generally ask GRE, TUM, Aachen, some of
Okay.
the other universities also. They will have sectional cutoffs also. You need to look into requirements, but very few universities ask for GRE.
Okay, sir. For
Okay.
Sutherland and TU Kaiserslautern is GRE mandatory, sir?
No, I don't think so. For Sarland, I'm not very sure. But yeah, I don't even know which course you are going to apply to. So it depends on the
Uh,
course also.
for
So
Masters in Computer Science, sir.
you need to go to their website and check the requirement, Karthik, because even if I could remember, the requirements can keep changing.
Yeah, yes.
So at this moment, go to the university portal and check if it is mentioned as mandatory or not. But as far as I know, it is not necessary for Saarland and Vegeslot.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank
Hello.
you, Karthik.
Hi.
Yes.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
Mohammed Ashlan. Is it Yedu or who's? Let's
Uh,
go one by one. Is it okay?
o-
Yes, Mohammed Ashlan.
Hi, ma'am. My name is Ashley. I've just
Mhm.
completed my BTech in Mechanical Engineering in 2020. Currently, I'm working in Chennai. So I was wondering about the CGPA requirement for getting into a public university in Germany.
Okay. Rachel, do you want to answer? Or should I take it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not a standardized answer, Ashlin. The thing is,
Yeah.
it totally depends on the universities. Many universities don't even mention any cutoffs as far as GPA is concerned. Some of them will mention it as 2.5, but
Mhm.
most of them they will not have anything at all. So in those cases, you can still apply no matter what is your GPA. But then
So,
you are required to match certain IELTS or certain GRE if they need it. So as far as GPA is concerned, for mechanical engineering sector itself is very competitive in Germany. So I would
mhm.
say if you have 80 percentage and above, then you have a good chance. If it is somewhere between 70 and 80, you have a decent chance. Below
Mm-hmm.
70 would be very difficult.
Yeah, currently I'm having 7.52 CGPA. What that will be in German grade?
Yeah, you have a German grade calculator, right? All over the internet, you can calculate it. So
Okay.
it depends on your maximum and minimum passing grade also. So yeah, I think I can drop you a link in the chat. You could calculate it there. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
This is Saket over here. Just want to
Hello.
know about want to know
How
about Hillcrest University and just want to know about the ECTS calculation form. What is that? And I just want to calculate my academic credit. So what is? I just want to know about ECTS and also know about Hillbrown University.
Okay. That's a good question, Sarthak. A lot of people have, questions related to ECTS. So, firstly, the basic idea of ECTS is there are, that European Union, the rules are pretty much standardized there, and no matter whether you are in Germany or France or Italy or anywhere, they want to have a uniform education system throughout. They will have a lot of exchange students. Even when you go there, you will see that a lot of students are from France, Canada, and France, Italy, and other European countries. So what they wanted to do was they wanted to have a uniform credit system throughout Europe. So that's where they came up with ECTS. I don't know the exact long form, but it is something like European credit system or something. So they follow everywhere in Europe. One credit is equivalent to 30 hours of studies. So this 30 hours can include your lecture hours, your tutorials, your assignments, or even your self-study hours. So when you complete 30 hours of studies in a semester, you will earn one credit. So that's how ECTS works. In Germany, at least it is 30 hours, but it can change if you go out of Europe. In India or in your college, it could be different. So that's how ECTS is calculated.
And
So
how it
when
will
you
be?
convert,
Yeah. Then how it will be like you're calculating like if I provide you my academic cumulative card, then you'll be helping us in calculating that ECTS score.
no, you cannot calculate without knowing the credit system in your university. So if firstly the question is, do you have a credit system in your university
Yeah.
in India? Okay. So do you know what is equivalent to one credit in your college? How many
No,
hours of studies?
no, that I don't know. So that I need to collect it from my
Yeah, that
college.
you need to ask your university and you have to get that information. That's the thing, like in India, it's pretty much like haphazard. They don't even mention what is it meant by one credit in their credit system.
Okay.
So you can write to them or you can email them. You just get to know it could be 40 hours or it could be 45 hours. So
Okay.
then your entire it could be 30 hours also, because I have seen in many universities in India, for the entire bachelor's they will have 240 credits. So 240 credits divided by 8 is 30 credits per semester. So you will still have 30 credits only. I mean, one ECTS, one credit is equal to 30 hours only. So that will be generally the case, but in your university it could be different. So just get to know that figure, then you will be able to convert your credit to ECTS.
Okay. And can you just a little bit tell me about the Hillbrown University? Like, what is it of public or I don't have any idea about that because I need to
Uh,
apply there. So
which ones are?
Hillbrown,
Can you spell it out?
HEILBRONNE.
Heilbronn. I have heard of that university, but I'm not very sure to answer here whether the details of the university. I'm sure some of the students may have even applied there, the admissions team. I am not very sure, confident to answer whether it's a public or private or the courses that it offers. So, but
Okay.
then obviously you can check out their website and you'll get to know.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thanks,
Hello.
Arthak. All the best.
Yes, Arthak.
Hello.
Hi, is it Yedu?
Yes, yes, Yetu.
Okay, yes, Yedu. Yeah, yes,
Ma'am,
Yedu.
am
What's
I
your
clearly
question?
audible?
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Okay. Ma'am, my name is Yedu and I have mainly two doubts. And I'm a mechanical
Okay.
engineer who passed my course in last year, 2020. And my first doubt is that when I'm planning for the coming 2022 summer intake, and when I try to shortlist some courses in Germany, and there are two type of courses, mainly 1.5 year, like three sem courses and also four sem courses, like 1.5 years and 2 year master's courses. So
Okay.
I do want to know the main difference between these courses. Like I know there is three sem and four sem, but other than that, what are the main difference between these courses? Like main doubt is that is it affect our stay back duration or something like that. And my second doubt is that I'm currently working, and as I told you, I passed out to 2020, but my current working situation is not based on my education. So is it if it will affect my admission procedures and all? These are the doubts that I have.
Okay. Rashid?
Okay. Yeah, Edu, firstly, I'll take your first question. 3 semester and 4 semester masters, right? There could be some minor differences depending on the universities, but then generally the 4 semester masters, in the final semester, you will either have your master thesis or it will be an internship in a company. So what happens is if you get into a 4 semester masters, uh, if you have plans for PhD after your masters, then it is necessary that you need to get into a 4 semester because your master thesis matters a lot to for you to get a PhD, either in Germany or even in India also. And the major difference here is credits again. So 3 semester masters will have 90 credits, 4 semester masters will have 120 credits. For you to do a PhD in India, you will need at least 120 credits from your masters. So you won't be able to do PhD if you only go for 3 semester masters in Germany, but you can do PhD in Germany by completing your masters in an FH or in a 3 semester masters degree. So it depends on your choices basically. But if you don't want to bother about PhD at all, and if you just want to work after your masters, it really doesn't make big difference. So in fact, 3 semester masters will help you get into a job market a bit sooner. But then your master thesis or an internship could be a prerequisite for the job that you are going in. So again, like if your thesis is related to some application oriented thing wherein through which you can get a job, or many people do master thesis even in the companies also. So in those cases also you can get absorbed very easily. So
Okay.
it depends on what is your end goal. But then yeah, I mean, as far as my advice is concerned, if you are going to do a masters, do it completely, like go for a 4 semester masters only. In either case you will learn better subjects, or you will get more insights in that 4 semester than in the first 3 semesters. So go for the 4 semesters.
Okay. And so regarding the second doubt, like my current working situation is not based on my education, as I'm planning
Mm-hmm.
for the German abroad. I mean, I'm planning for doing my masters in Germany. So I took this current job because I didn't want any gap in my career. So the thing is that the
Yeah,
doubt is that
not
will
to
it
worry,
affect the
that happens
admission
with a lot of
procedure?
students. But yeah, I wouldn't say it doesn't affect. It will affect your chances, or it generally it shows that your path so far was, yeah, a bit inconsistent. But then like I said earlier, many universities in Germany don't even care whether you have work experience on or in which field you have. They don't look at your work experience at all. Actually, all that matters to them is your academics. So if you have a good academics and if you have a good GPA and good scores in the relevant topics which are related to your masters, then you will get an admission. But then
Okay,
if you are
okay.
going for management or business related courses, then your work experience matters a lot. So in those cases, they can check your consistency.
Okay, sir. So one more simple doubt. Like I used your German CGPA calculator in your website, and I
Mm.
got my CGPA, my Indian CGPA convert to almost 2 in German CGPA. So I just want to know what are the chances of getting admission with 2 CGPA of German grade.
You have a good chance, Edu. Like many universities will ask for 2.5, But
Yeah.
then there could be some universities, I think Saarland or somewhere I saw it was minimum was 2. So in those cases again, like it will be competitive. Even the universities which mention it as 2.5, many people in India, they get a very good GPA, and there could be a lot of people who have their German grade less than 2. So again, those will be competitors to you. So the smaller number you have, the better it is. I wouldn't say like it is very good, but then yeah, it is good enough to make you eligible to apply to a lot of universities. So I would say, but then don't get complacent. Apply for at least 5 to 7 courses.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Great. Fine, Edu, all the best.
Hello.
Hello.
Uh,
Hello.
okay, can we take Rishabh first? I mean, like after Rishabh, we'll come
Yeah.
to you, Varun. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Uh,
Uh, Hi, Rishabh.
because because of COVID, my professors are unable to provide a recommendation with official letterhead. So, is it necessary to give it with the official letterhead, or we can create our own letterhead and give it? Yeah, that is my
Mm,
question.
create your own letterhead in the sense,
Like,
will you create letterhead in the name of your college?
yeah, some logo of the college I will use as
You
letterhead.
could make a copy of your letterhead if you have anything. If you can recreate it, you can do
Hmm.
it. But obviously, your professor will have to agree to that. But then,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, there is no way for German university to know whether it is from your college or you have created it. So if you can replicate it exactly, then it shouldn't be a problem. But then there will be people from your own college who might be applying to the same course. At that time, if they check the authenticity of the letterhead, it could be problematic for you. So I would say if it is possible to wait for a month once this COVID reduces and get the authentic letterheads only, it is better if you do that. Otherwise, also you can. I mean, if you don't have a choice, you can go with this option.
Uh, is it okay if I interject at this point? I have an answer for this question. This is Pratish. I spoke to few folks at the University of Stuttgart regarding the same issues, where the professor was not able
Mhm.
to LOR. So the folks at Stuttgart, they said that if I include details on how to reach the professor at the very bottom, like an email address or a phone number, and I add a line that any confirmations or clarifications they can call back to the professor, then I can submit an LOR even without the college letterhead. So I think this maybe if you could talk to the university directly, they'll probably figure out a solution if in the situation that we're living in right now. The Stuttgart is open with without even a blank sheet of paper, no letterheads. I think.
Yeah, Pratish. That is for Stuttgart, right? Maybe you will be applying to more universities than just Stuttgart. So that could cause a problem. That is, I certainly. I mean, you can write to the individual universities and check if they are okay with this. But just to be on the safer side, it's better to get it on the letterhead. But yeah, I mean, thanks for suggesting that. If you are just applying to Stuttgart, I think this will do. Even most universities will be okay with this because they understand the situation, and if as long as your recommenders are reachable, so then I think it should be okay for
Yeah.
them. Yeah, but then they don't even try to contact them. It is a lot of time waste for them to contact each and everybody. But then yeah, just ultimately they want to know that it is authentic and it comes from your referee. So yeah, if you can include more details about your referee, maybe that will do.
Okay.
Hello.
Thanks.
Okay,
Bro.
thank you.
Hello.
Yes, Varun. After Varun,
Yeah.
I'll take up Heptani and then Shikhar. Okay, sure. Varun,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. My doubt is regarding the IELTS. My
Okay.
IELTS is going to expire like in this November. Like 2 years will be completed. So during the application process for summer intake 2022, can I provide that or should I retake my IELTS?
Actually, Varun, many of the summer university deadlines are on November 15 and Jan 15. So in those cases, you will face difficulty, right? and even you don't know when they will process your application. Even if you apply in October, let's say, maybe the university will check your certificate in the month of November. So that time again you will face difficulty. So it is better if you retake it.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. Yes. Hi, Shekhar. After Shekhar, I'll take up your question. Yeah, Shekhar.
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
sorry. I'm sorry, Head Jenny. I'm very sorry, Shekhar. I'll answer your question because Head Jenny has been waiting for a long time. Yes,
Okay, okay.
Head Jenny.
So I just completed my bachelor's in mechanical engineering, and my overall GPA would be 1.2 to 1.3. So my main doubt was my primary course is like automotive production at Technical Hochschule Ingolstadt, so which is only summer course. So I will be applying for summer 22. But if the COVID cases rise again, it would be online studies, and I don't want to do online studies. So what would I do in that case?
Okay. You don't really have a choice, Jenny. The thing is like a lot of students, they certainly want to go to Germany and they want to do their masters, but they're all still taking online courses now. So either you could wait for one more year and hope that this thing goes away and you can go and attend the physical classes, or if you want to go in summer 22 anyway, there is always a risk. We don't even know the third wave about in India, or it could be in Germany as well. So the situation is still uncertain, and you have to take that risk of applying now if you are applying for summer. But hopefully, because of vaccination and everything, things will get better, and they will start. Already, situation is much better in Germany than compared to India, so they might open up physical classes. It is likely that maybe situation gets better in 22, and with that positive attitude you can still apply, but you have a choice of going or not, even after you get an admission, or sometimes even you have a choice of delegating. I mean, I don't know what was the exact technical term, but then you have a choice of postponing your admission to the next year also. Since you told it's only in summer, you could postpone your admission to 23 also once you get an admission. So, but get the clarification. Since you are very particular about university and course, you can write to them and say that I mean, if the situation has to be there, like wherein you have to take the online courses, you would like to postpone it to the next semester, and they might be okay with it.
Okay, okay, sir. One last doubt. So, sir, should location be considered more or the course modules? So, for example, if some university is in outskirts of Germany, which is no, also very far away from the industrial area and also has less chances for the part-time jobs, but we are liking the course modules. So, should we select the university or not?
Sorry, I didn't get your question properly. If the university is outskirts and if they have less course modules, then obviously that wouldn't be your primary choice, right?
Okay,
So getting a part-time job would be difficult if the university is outskirts, like if it is totally outside of the city and you might have to travel every time once you do for doing your part-time job. And also if they have less modules or the module which you are not interested in, then obviously don't select that university course at all.
okay, thank you.
Yeah, fine.
Hello, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, we'll
Hello.
just take your question after Shekhar's. Hi, Shekhar.
Hello,
I'm
ma'am.
so sorry for that. Yeah,
No,
Shekhar.
okay. Hello, sir. I got an admit in two universities. First one is Technical University of Kaiserslautern for microbial and plant biotechnology, and second university is University of Saigon for MSc chemistry. So, which would
Mhm.
be the good option according to the job prospectus and part-time jobs also?
Okay. Yeah, Shekhar, firstly, congrats that you got into
Thanks, sir.
two good courses, into good universities. I am not the very right person to answer this, Shekhar. Firstly, I am not from that field of
Yeah, yeah.
chemical engineering or anything. So probably it's better if you consult somebody who is already studying those courses. You could find them in Facebook groups related to those universities, and then you talk about the syllabus there, or internship opportunities, part-time jobs, and even jobs after masters. How easy is it to find industries near that location? These are the things you should discuss before finalizing. Yeah, I am sorry, but I'm not the right person to answer this
Okay, sir.
question.
Okay, sir. Again, sir,
um,
one doubt.
yeah.
Sir, though Kaiserslautern is a technical university, but it is not included
Hmm.
in TU9 universities
That
as like
shouldn't matter much, because TU9 are formed very long back, and now they don't even carry that significance of being attached to TU9s. It only mattered when it was in 2010 or 2005, when people wanted to know what are the top universities, just like Ivy Leagues in USA. In Germany, the government wanted to provide all the facilities to select universities and make them the top universities in Germany, but now it doesn't carry that much significance. So yeah, it shouldn't be too much bothered about TU9s.
okay, sir. And so I have an appointment on 21 July.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
how much time it
Uh,
takes? I have to be there in October, before 21 October.
when did you say? 21st July, is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that should give you sufficient time. A lot of people have it in August. Even I mean, you will have a lot of time. You will probably get your visa in August itself, so that should give you a lot of time to prepare. And if you have time, I suggest you learn German, learn at least A2 level, if possible.
Yes, sir. I am learning
And
German language.
yeah, that's great.
Okay, sir. So it
Fine,
is tough to
Shekhar.
get job, part-time job without language.
It's not. I mean, it depends on which sector where you want to work. But learning German language will help you in a lot of other ways. But then getting part-time jobs is not really one of them, unless you want to work in a restaurant or in a public sector wherein they don't speak English at all. If you are looking to work in a company or even in the university, a lot of people do speak English. So at that
Yes.
time, it shouldn't really affect your chances much. But if you
Mm.
could get into B2 or C1 level by the time you complete your masters, then you
Mhm.
can really apply. I mean, the list of companies or list of choices that you have for full-time job after your masters will
Mhm.
will really expand like anything if you know German. So the A1 and A2 will form the foundation for that. Many universities will have it in their course curriculum itself, learning German language. So if you complete until A2 in India, then you can continue with B1 there once you reach there.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Thank you so much, sir.
Fine, Shaker. All the best with your visa interview.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yes, Abba.
Hello, sir. My name is Sava, and I am doing my bachelor right now. I'm in sixth sem, so I'm planning for 2022. So I wanted to ask what will be the general requirements for doing master in Germany in mechatronics field. And one more question: what will be the main difference in MTech in Germany or MSc in Germany?
Okay. The second one is I'll just answer it straight away. There is nothing like MTech in Germany. So there is just MSc degrees. So you can, I mean, some of them, some universities even call it MS, I think. But many places it's just MSc degree. So, but then to answer your first question, what is the requirement for you to join mechatronics there? Firstly, majorly you need to be from the mechanical background. I hope that you are studying mechanical in your bachelor's right
No,
now.
sir. I'm doing mechatronics and bachelor mechatronics.
Oh, that's wonderful. It's 100% match then. So if you are already doing mechatronics in your bachelor's and you are going for mechatronics course in for masters, then it's very well and good. So certainly that would give you an edge. But apart from that, just focus on your GPA. GPA is the single most important factor for you to get an admission in Germany. So if you could keep it as high as possible, then that will again increase your chances of getting an admission. Other than that, you have to collect all your certificates. You have to take IELTS test. IELTS, most of the universities they need 6.5, so aim for that. Some universities need GRE as well. So depending on where and all you want to apply for mechatronics. So if it is there in, I'm not sure if it is there in Aachen or anything. So if it is there, then maybe you need GRE as well. So GRE will take time for you to prepare and apply and appear and get a good score. So start your preparation early if you have to take the GRE. Yeah, I mean that's it. Pretty much all the other things will be covered. Like you have to get the LORs and some other documents from your college. The process is listed step by step on our website. Everything is in detail, and our website should be like a very good handbook for you to apply to Germany. So I'm not bragging, but then this has been the go-to resource for a lot of students who want to apply for Germany. So you can just check it out for a few hours whenever you have time. Yeah, I am pretty sure like you will get answers to all the questions that you would need to apply to Germany.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All right. Fine, Sabha. Vaibhav, you wanted to ask something?
Yes, sir. Sir, I wanted to ask you that just now I received admit from SRH Berlin University of Applied Science at a Masters
Okay.
of Supply Chain Management. And I wanted to ask you about the difference between the your public university and the applied science and all this university. Are they same in Germany universities? Means as per my information, there is no any placement in college like a college campus.
Right.
Everybody have to
Uh,
apply on a portal job portal, and they will get the job after that. So why
yes,
some
Vaibhav.
people say that you should get admitted into you or something in else? Why this is crazy is beyond going on?
Hmm. No, your perception is correct. It doesn't really matter
Yes,
when
sir.
you go for.
As per my information, this is right, which I have researched in last year that that whatever I
Hmm,
have received, this is right information. But still many people
hmm.
say that you should get admitted into you and all this thing.
Okay.
So why?
Firstly, getting admission into you will give you more flexibility. A lot of people may not have decided at the time of application that whether they want to do PhD or not.
Hmm.
And secondly, a lot of TUs have like our top rank in Germany. Although there is no official ranking, a lot of TUs like TUM, TU Berlin, and even Aachen, Stuttgart, a lot of these have high quality of education compared to these one. These are considered as tier one universities. There are tier two universities. There could be tier three universities within the public university domain itself. So
Okay.
a lot of TUs have very high quality standards, maybe in the way of teaching or in the way of conducting exams, or maybe they are located in bigger cities in Germany, so it makes it easier to find part-time jobs and things like that. A lot of FH universities are relatively new, and their curriculum may not be as vast as TUs or as broad as TUs, I would say. But then FHS will prepare you for certain industrial related skills, or maybe things like automotive engineering will be offered by FH, right? So
Yeah.
even after your, I mean, when you finish your automotive engineering course in an FH, you could directly get into maybe BMW or Bosch or anything that works in the automotive domain. So it will develop you skills to get you ready for that job. So, but then nothing else. So if you want to
Okay.
change domain or if you want to do something else, you will not really have that much deep knowledge as you get it into you.
Okay. It
So,
means
but
do you
then you
focus
could
on
get,
only on the research? I think
not
research based.
necessarily.
Research based.
That's what, like in TU, there is a flexibility. Most of the TUs will have courses related to research also. If you want to go to PhD, only, I mean, when you finish your first semester in Germany, you will have choices for the courses that you are going to take in next 3 semesters. I think
Okay.
some of the Indian universities also have it in their bachelors. So you can choose the courses which you want to study. At that time, you will have both the paths. Like if you want to take courses which are more practice oriented, even within the TU, you could do that. And if you want to study courses which are more theoretical, and if you want to go into depth and do some research or get a PhD afterwards, you could do that. TUs offer that flexibility, but
Yeah.
FH is more fixed curriculum, and it will prepare you for your job. That's all.
Yeah.
So that's why maybe people are not very sure what is their career path. So at that time, they want to have all the options open.
Yeah. Also, sir, suppose if I completed my masters in applied science university, and suppose there is one student who have completed is from TU, a master. His
Mm.
masters is TU. Will there any impact after masters in jobs opportunity or something? It means they
That
will
doesn't
prefer
matter at
to.
all. So they don't even ask you which university are you from when you apply. I mean, it will be there in your CV, obviously, but then
Okay.
it doesn't matter at all. So only thing is, on the day of interview, you go and answer all the questions correctly, and you show
Okay.
them that you know all the relevant tools which are needed for the jobs. Then you will get a job. So it doesn't matter which university are you from. But one thing that matters is you have studied the relevant courses that are required for you to know to do that job. So
Okay.
obviously, if you are going for something in data science, maybe they want to check that you have studied R language in your bachelor's, or you have studied MATLAB, or something related to that particular domain. If you have done it, whether it is in a TU or in a FH, and if you have got a good score for that subject, then it doesn't really matter which university you're from.
Okay. Also, sir, as per my information, I heard that I can change the university from applied science to TU after one semester or something if I get a good grade in first semester or like that. Is it right?
Mm. I've heard students have done that, but I don't really. Why would you want to change the universities? Because ultimately, if that is what your main goal is, like you are not very happy, but you still want to go to Germany and let me just
No, no, sir.
get on there
I
and
am happy with my master's degree right now. Whatever I am received, I am happy with that. But
Mhm.
the
No, no.
one
What I'm
thing,
saying is, some students will have very low score in their bachelor's, right? So
yeah,
that
yeah.
time they can't really get into a university which is like their dream university or something. So that
Mm,
time they might compromise the course and they can go to any university which is just okay for them, and they hope to change after first semester. And as
okay,
you said, it is possible. Like if you have a very good score in your first semester, you can use that score and you can even get those 30 credits from your first semester and directly enroll into second semester in another another course in generally in the same university, but then some people also change the universities as well. But then
okay.
I don't think that's a very straightforward process, and you have to be you are settled down in one place and you have to change the cities, you have to change the
Yeah, yeah,
university.
yeah, yeah,
That
yeah,
is a lot of thing to do.
yeah,
So
yeah,
only some desperate people do it, but then that is not a general practice.
yeah, yeah. Also, sir, do you know something about the specific university? It means SRH Berlin. How is it right? In its curriculum, their curriculum, and the faculty, and
SRH Berlin, I mean, generally, comparatively, all the private universities, it's a private university, right? So
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it has a very good name among all the private universities. If I have to choose one top private university in Germany, it would be SRH.
Okay,
They have different campuses. Yeah, I mean, Berlin is one of the reputed ones. So
yeah,
yeah, I mean, as far as the reputation of a private university goes, SRH comes very close to being equivalent to public university. So they have very good standards, and I mean, yeah, I mean, that is one of the top private university, I would say, in Germany.
okay. Also, and the professor would be in the industrial expert or something which they have done the PhD in just theoretically or practically. In it means in my curriculum.
I'm not very sure. You have to check on the university website or to check the faculty details.
Okay, as per they
Not
have
all of
mentioned.
them.
Okay,
Hmm.
as per they have mentioned on their website that they have just mentioned that the faculty which were teaching here that just mostly experience from industry and they are currently working with industry and right like that.
True. That will be the case with a lot of private universities because a lot of professors in private universities, which are, I mean, they are generally from industries. They hold a very high position there, and they could get the projects from that particular company to that private university. That's why they are there. So,
Okay.
getting a job after your master's in these private universities would be slightly easy because you already have that connection with that
Yeah,
industry.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, sir.
Fine, Vaibhav. All the
Thank
best.
you. Vaibhav. Okay, guys, so due to time constraints, we might end this session. So let's just have one last question, sir. Are you having the time for it?
Yeah, can we do it until 9:30?
Sure, no
10 more
problem.
minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. As long as you're available, let's do it. Okay, so guys, you can shoot your questions if anybody else have any other question. Or else should I just start taking from the chat? Okay, because there were a few questions from a few students. Okay, so actually most of them have already left, I guess. So is there any other question? Oh, there is one from Tejasvi. So if we're directly applying after BE, do we have less options as we don't have work experience?
Yes, Tejasvi, if you have to apply for management or business related courses, you will have less options because most of them need at least 1 year work experience. But if it is more of a technical courses, it really shouldn't matter much. But then there are some universities which might still ask for 1 year work experience for technical courses even. But then you wouldn't lose out much by not having the work experience as long as you have good academics. The top universities, at least, they don't need for you to have any work experience, so for technical courses, so it should be okay for you.
Okay, did that answer your question, Tejasvi? Um, okay, great then. Okay, so thank you. And do we have any other question? Okay, so there is a question from Yasser. I am from engineering background and want to pursue management studies from TUM. Does this affect in any way?
That's okay, sir. I mean, a lot of people who apply for management courses are from engineering background. But then, like I said, you may need to have work experience to apply for that particular course. So it doesn't really affect. I mean, yeah, as long as you can show that interest and your SOP is, filled with enough motivation for you to pursue management after engineering. So it shouldn't really matter much. You will still have very good chance.
Okay, thank you, Yasser. I hope that answered your question. We have a question from Hiba. I got into University of Edinburgh in UK for MSc in Sustainable Energy Systems. I did apply for similar courses in TUM and Uni Freiburg in Germany, but didn't get into it. As Edinburgh is not known for scientific courses, should I wait another year for application? Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Hiba, it is very subjective, and you are the best person to take this decision. I'm sorry about that. But as far as universities that you have mentioned, TVM or what was that, Freiburg? So I think TVM is totally worth the wait if you could apply again, and if you can get an admission, certainly it's well and good. Freiburg is also not so bad. It certainly has good reputation, but I'm not very sure how do they compare to Edinburgh in the UK. So yeah, if you're saying that if you're not very satisfied with your admit right now, then you could wait for 1 more year. But you have to calculate that worth of how much or what would you cost to have 1 more year, wait in your profile. So, if you ask me for an advice in general, I wouldn't say it's worth the wait. So you just go with what you got and make the best of it. So I wouldn't certainly ask you to wait for 1 more year since you have gotten those rejections. Maybe you will get the rejections again unless your profile is drastically different. So just go with it.
Okay, so I hope that answered your question. So do we have, there's another question from Yasser. So does MIM from TUM require work experience too? Because I have read from many sources that only MBA requires work experience and not MIM. So are you aware of this?
And no, Ashra.
Okay.
Probably somebody from admissions team can answer this better.
Yes.
But I have no idea the current requirement if a trainee needs work experience or not.
Okay, sure. I think next time we should have someone from the admissions team as well. Whatever
Yeah.
there's. Okay, so guys, I think we can wrap up. So is there any final question? Um, I'll just like give it 30 seconds. If nobody has, we can conclude the session. Okay, so I'm guessing that there's no more questions. So it would be great if you guys could suggest, what topics we need to take up for the upcoming webinars, since many people are available. And do check out our, just a second. Yeah, do check out our page, msingermany.co.in, and you can always send a callback request in case if you want to get in touch with our team and get your questions solved. And if any questions we're not able to take up, you can always, DM us on Instagram. And the best way would be sending a profile evaluation request so you could get in touch with our experts. So yeah, thank you so much for joining, everybody. This session has been great. Thank you, there, sir, for joining us today, and have a great Sunday, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend.
Bye-bye.